Let's talk about this insane Captain America New World Order plot leak. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Cosmic Culture, the channel where we talk all things major movie and television news, theories, breakdowns, and much more. I'm your host Chris, and yes, we have from an insider a really central and important plot point for the new Captain America movie, which will be a staple film in Phase 5. Now, we have a lot of very important movies coming out during Phase 5 that will really be turning the yarn of the importance of the overall MCU storyline as we move into the final phase of the multiverse saga, Phase 6, and the big connecting points. So if you look at it as Phase 4 was the beginning building phase, Phase 5 is the ignition stage, or the igniting stage, where the ball really starts to get moving. And then Phase 6 will be the closure phase, where we'll get some more massive reveals right before we get pushed into the final battle, Secret Wars. But today we're going to be talking about one of those igniting factors, which will be very prominent, according to this insider, during Captain America New World Order, and that is the introduction of a brand new medal at a place that perhaps you've forgotten about. If you haven't already, consider subscribing and turning on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our other major movie and television news updates happening daily here on the channel. You can also follow me on my other socials, Instagram at Chris M. Rosser and Twitter at TheCultureChris. Links to both of those are in the description down below. So today we're talking about Captain America New World Order Phase 5 project, but let me know in the comment section down below what project from Phase 5 you're most excited for. Mine very well might be Thunderbolts or Guardians of the Galaxy. Maybe Ant-Man, Loki Season 2, I don't know. There are a ton of awesome projects coming our way during Phase 5. So, let me jump into this leak and then we can have a nice little chat about it. Starting off with the source, it comes from someone I'm not necessarily familiar with, called You Remind Me of That Babe. Now, they're pretty big on Twitter. In fact, they're followed by a lot of the sources I use commonly here on the channel, including My Time to Shine Hello and Daniel RPK, as well as Charles Murphy, Geek Vibes Nation, Skylar Schuler, James Viscardi. A lot of insiders or people in the big Marvel leaking game and scooping game follow this account that has over 17,000 followers. So, although we always take these with a grain of salt, which I know everybody's sick of hearing by now, there is a little bit of pull with this tweet and with what they're trying to tell us as far as a very important plot point in Captain America New World Order. And it actually comes from information we've learned and probably since forgotten in the Eternals. The tweet says, "Oh, so that's what she turned Tiamut to. Well played, MCU, well played. Told y'all this film will age like wine." Now underneath it is a clip of this scene. He then later returns and continues on to this tweet by saying, "So I guess you didn't turn him into it, their bodies are made of it. And it's a new precious metal not owned by the Wakandans. So there will be a war for New World Order. A lot of y'all about to resent a lot of comments soon." And he's obviously talking to people who hated the Eternals, who said it didn't make any sense or connect to the MCU, and how do people just forget about a giant monster reaching its hand somewhere out of the ocean. We're about to get a lot of connecting points to that. But further, we're about to get a lot of connecting points for a whole entire different purpose in the MCU based off of this information. Now, in this scene, we see with Cersei turning the Eternal into this solidified state, what originally looked like taking this lively yellow rock and turning it into more of a solid and dead rock is actually turning it into a metal, but based off of the insider and the leak, not turning it into the metal, but revealing the metal. And there's so many different things we need to talk about just based off of these sentences alone. A, what is that metal? And I think we have a very good guess as to what it could be. I'm sure you're thinking about it if you haven't already. Adamantium, which has an extremely important link to Wolverine, but also on the big storytelling of the MCU outside of just Captain America, the Thunderbolts, Wolverine, assuming that this metal is what we think it is. We also can talk about the Guardians of the Galaxy, who we just learned in the Christmas special, the holiday special, that they own nowhere. And we'll talk about why that's really important in just a second as well. Let's start with Captain America. So we have Captain America, we have this massive celestial who has been solidified in his adamantium state on the planet Earth, and we have a title of a movie called New World Order. Now, my first opinion and my first thoughts and guesses off of that title was it was a reference of a new Captain America, a new order, a new Avengers team. Maybe there would be a huge establishment of all of that in Captain America's movie. However, potentially it's about a war among men, a war among people trying to get this precious resource, which again I'm assuming is adamantium, and a almost gold rush-like moment in movies where all of these different armies and nations and individuals are rushing to this celestial in order to harvest the metal. Another reference to the New World Order could be that Wakanda aren't the only people anymore that have access to an incredible metal. Granted, and I know, we also have Namor and the Atlanteans, all with their people having access to vibranium and several others, but the point is there is another resource that has very, very, very incredible capabilities on the planet Earth, and yes, it comes from an alien figure. We all know that Wolverine is on the horizon in the MCU, not only Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, who will be making several appearances, I believe, throughout Phase 6, but also the new Wolverine who will be coming, and according to the comics and everything we know about Wolverine, will need adamantium in order to create his very, very strong metal claws, which is what they're created in the comics. So in this new Captain America movie, New World Order, we're going to be diving deeper into the mining of this material, the use of this material, the importance of the material, and how the world has changed because of it. Potentially, one corporation in particular will get their hands on it. I'm thinking Victor Von Doom. Now, I'm not saying Dr. Doom is showing up. In fact, it seems increasingly like we won't be seeing Doom until maybe later on after Phase 6 and into Phase 7. Or if we do see Von Doom, it'll be Victor Von Doom, not Dr. Doom. But this is a very interesting segue to see who the New World Order really might fall to. Who is going to come out on top because of all this adamantium, this precious metal showing up in Captain America, thanks to everything that happened in the Eternals. On top of that, we have some very important knowledge from Guardians of the Galaxy, the holiday special that they just acquired nowhere, which is the skull of a Celestial. If this information about the Celestial on Earth is accurate, that not only did she not turn it into adamantium, but it is adamantium, and upon its death state, it's harvestable. When a Celestial dies, you can harvest this incredible metal. Well, that means that the Guardians of the Galaxy are going to have access to a very important metal moving forward. So we will have the Wakandan metal, vibranium, as well as the celestial alien metal, adamantium, in the MCU at the same time. Many different companies already fighting over Wakandan metal, vibranium, but now we're going to have this exploration and this discovery of the adamantium, which moving into the future of Marvel is going to be a very important, valuable resource. I'm really excited for the gold rush feeling, for everybody to try to get their hands on some of this adamantium and what the repercussions of that are going to be in the world and in the world order, and how Captain America is really going to be involved in that as well, potentially getting, who knows, a new shield with new abilities, depending on how Marvel wants to depict the capabilities of adamantium. There's also the connection of Captain America to the Thunderbolts, which will be coming out shortly after Captain America, and whatever information we gain from Captain America New World Order will be able to push into the plot of the Thunderbolts. Now, I don't think Thunderbolts is a sequel to Captain America, but there will be a huge relation there, and a lot of the information coming out of the Captain America movie will translate to Thunderbolts. Then with the Guardians of the Galaxy now acquiring Nowhere, which presumably will also have adamantium, if it's the skull of a Celestial, and Celestials are made of this metal, it's going to be there, which is another huge connecting point as we prepare for Phase 5, the ignition phase, where things are really going to start cooking, into Phase 6, the finale. So a lot of reasons to be excited for that. This insider, this plot leak, this assumption of the adamantium coming from the Celestial, this has me very, very excited. A lot of people are wondering, well, how has nobody talked about the giant alien coming out of the middle of the Earth? Well, we're about to, and it's going to be something really, really cool. So let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. I'm sure I'll do a few different videos on this plot leak because I do believe it to be accurate. And I also think that there are a lot of separate details that come into play once we realize what exactly the Celestial's dead body can mean for the future of the MCU. So let me know your thoughts down below, your theories. I'll be sure to read them all and comment with you guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't and turn on that notification bell. Hit that like button. And I'll catch you guys all in the next one right here on Cosmic Culture.